Hey, so this is a bit of a mixed bag. So it's going to be a review of the new comics I got these past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that, and just look at a few back issues that I picked up as well, because I got a few bargains. So we'll do the back issues first. I've not read these yet. So first one I got for £1 from my local comic shop from their pound bin, and this is Avengers 2, Wonderman and the Beast. It's in the Marvel Tales format, so there's 3 issues in this. So it's quite a thick boy. Like I said, it only cost me £1. It's got Mark Bagley doing the artwork, and I'm not a fan of Mark Bagley. I know a lot of people think he's wonderful, especially with Ultimate Spider-Man, but I just find him very average. He doesn't really. It's not, if I see his name, I don't think I want to read his comics. But I do like Roger Stern, who's writing it. So for £1, it could be crap, but could be an enjoyable read. And like I said, I do like Roger Stern even. And also, what I'm doing, this could be controversial. I actually enjoy the new Spider-Man comic. Yeah, some of the stories you can tell the editorial's been really interfering with it, but when it's good, it's really good, and I'm really enjoying the current storyline, which we'll get to later. But so I'm getting a bit of the back issues. I've got some of the running trade paperback because it was cheaper getting it that way. But I'm filling in the gaps with back issues. So I've got 27, Doc Ock on the cover. Oops. I got 28. 29. Love that cover. That's a really good cover. 30. I find that one a bit samey to the other cover from a few issues ago. And then the big one, which is issue 31 or legacy numbering 925. So it's a $9.99 comic. But I got all these really cheap, so that's why I got them in back issue, because no way I'd pay, I think in the UK that'd be £7.99 for a $9.99 comic, but I got it for a lot cheaper than that. So yes, I'll be reading those soon. But these are, this pal here, as you can see, is quite a big pile. So these are all the recent comics from new comics from the past, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks. And I've read them all, so I'm going to give a review. I don't know if I'm going to open them up and show them because one, I'm holding my camera like this, and two, it would just take too long because there's a big pile. So it's in no particular order, but first up, we've got the return of Wesley Dodds, the Sandman. This is number 1, and it's written by Rob Vendetti and artwork by Riley Rossmo, who a lot divided people on when he did his work on Harley Quinn. I really liked it, and I love his artwork on this. It's perfectly suited for a period drama like this. I'm a big fan of the Sandman. I got the Matt Wagner and Steven Seagal run from back in the 90s when it first came out, and I've got the nice big compendium which I'm currently ploughing through again. If you've not got it, I do highly recommend it. It's a chunky book, about 1,000 pages if not more, and it's not bad price at all. Soft cover, so it's not as cumbersome as an omnibus. So yes, so do get the Sandman Mystery Theatre omnibus if you want a good read. And this has a very similar feel, keeping with the pulp noirish flavour to it. It's got all the classic characters with Wesley Dodds. It's got his partner Diane Belmont, his butler, and Diane Belmont's dad, who's the district attorney. So yeah, very good vibe. And what I like about it as well, it's doing like in the original comic, he had very vivid dreams, and he does in this one as well. And he uses his sleeping gas and everything like that. So art and story, it's building up. It's setting the groundwork with this. I think it's meant to be a 6-issue series. Fingers crossed it does become either a series of miniseries or an ongoing, because we solely need something a bit different in the superhero genre, and this is really good pulp crime mystery. I would give this 8 out of 10. Very enjoyable. Definitely keeping on with it. And then this was just a impulse buy, really. I love Spider-Man. My favourite teams in Marvel or characters in Marvel: Spider-Man, the X-Men, including all characters related to it, and then I like the darker ones like Blade, etc. and Fantastic Four. But Spider-Man, I'd say he's always been my number one for favoritism. But I think I was just mainly DC and Indies in 2000 AD for a few years back when the Superior Spider-Man run by Dan Slott was getting accolades and everything. So I wasn't familiar with it. I just knew that Doc Ock had taken over the body of Spider-Man. So this is the Superior Spider-Man Returns. Bit of a chunky comic. I think there's about 40 story pages in here. So it's Dan Slott writing it, and a lot of the classic modern Spider-Man artists. So Kamikoli, Humberto Ramos, Mark Bagley, Ryan Stegman, and so on and so on. And if you read the Superior Spider-Man original run, or if you got the omnibus or whatever, this isn't necessary. But if you're a newbie like me to the character of the Superior Spider-Man, it's good. It gives you like an overarching flashback story, what brings you up to present day, in quite a fun read. And initially I was like, the first 6 or 7 pages, it was grating a bit. I was thinking, I'm not enjoying this. But then it switched up a gear, and I suddenly got into the rhythm of it, and I enjoyed it. So I give this, I wouldn't say it's an 8 out of 10, it's a 7 out of 10, because like I said, it is mainly just like a setup for a bigger story. They've listed as number 1, really it's in issue 0, and I think it's going to be a mini-series what it launches into later on in November. And then we've got issue 3 of The Madness. This 6-issue series from AWA by J. Michael Straczynski and the artist Ako. I love that cover. The artwork's very reminiscent of Paul Galassi, but a bit tidier, if that makes any sense. If you remember, I raved over the first 2 issues, thought it was a really good revenge superhero story, but this just felt pointless, this issue, and that surprises me. I think I just expected more from JMS with his writing. It felt very flabby. It felt like a filler issue. It felt unnecessary, and I was struggling to finish it, to be honest. It lost me interest halfway through, so I actually think I could be dropping this. It's a big drop in quality. Artwork's fantastic. The layouts are great, but the storytelling, I've just felt dry, boring, meandering. Big drop in quality. I'd give this a 5 out of 10, so I'm not sure if I'll get the next one. I've got to be strict with what I buy now. A lot of my indies now are digital, so I might start doing like a digital recommended of what I've read coming up soon. But with my digital, they'll be a month behind, because if you leave it for a month, the digital comics go down to about £1.20 in the UK. So you make a big saving. So a lot of my Image now are digital, and a lot of other companies as well, as I mentioned in How I Budget my comics. And then there's Danger Street number 10 by Tom King and Jorge Fornes and Dave Stewart on colours. This is number 10. Great, fantastic cover. I love that. I love the covers on this. You really have to hunt on the cover to find out what the number is, but if you look, it's book 10. Still not really got a clue what's going on, but it's much better than the last issue. The last issue, I think it was the last issue, was just a really long fight with the Manhunter, and I've forgotten who the other character was. I'm very Shakespearean, and again, it felt flabby, but something about it kind of compelled me to finish reading it. But this one is much better. You can tell it's moving towards the end game now, but I have not got a fucking clue what the end game is. So because of that, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It could be an 8 if it was a bit more cohesive. And then back on the Spider-Man run, this is the final part of the Craven storyline, where Spider-Man gets infected by the Sin Stealer, so he gets infected with the Green Goblin spirit, and this is fantastic. This is how Spider-Man should be. I don't know what Zeb Wells has been eating these past 4 issues, but keep on eating it, because a lot better than his earlier stuff. Gorgeous art by Patrick Gleason, and I love this Tony Daniel cover. This is one of the variant covers, and I just had to get it. I just love it. Not sure. I think the feature's a bit dodgy, but I love the image as a whole. And yeah, fantastic storyline. Wraps up the story really nicely. I love the last page. Very, very good. Norman Osborn is my favourite villain, and I kind of like him as a good guy, but I like how he's got this dual battle going on inside him now. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. And yeah, one of Marvel's stronger comics, but it's $4.99 now for 20 pages of comic. What is pissing me off now, I've stopped Magneto, which I loved, but the reason I stopped it, I was going to pick it up number 3, and it nearly fell apart in my hands. So the $4.99 comics, the covers are really quite good quality, but the $3.99 comics, the quality is lacking, and the covers feel very, very flimsy. So Marvel, you treat your fans terribly. The quality of your comics is shocking. We shouldn't have to pay $4.99 for a $20 comic just so we can get a cover that's sturdier than. It's not even a cardstock cover. It's just a normal, like a DC cover, because Marvel's normal covers are like tissue. So there we go. But for the comic itself, excluding the quality of the comic and the price, 8 out of 10. And then Green Lantern number 4. And yeah, it's not my favourite Green Lantern now though. The John Stewart by Philip Kennedy Johnson is, in my opinion, the better Green Lantern comic. But it's good. I just don't think I'm the biggest. For some reason, Jeremy Adams doesn't really gel with me. I just don't. I don't know. I don't kind of get what all the fuss is about him. He just feels a bit. He's like a very. I just find him a bit light. It feels like there should be more depth to the story, but it's okay. It is what it is. The backup story is really good though, by Peter J. Tommaso, and it's about this young boy who we don't know if he is the son or the bastard son of Sinestro, or if he just wants to be. So that'll be interesting where that goes. And this is like your classic Flash meets up with Green Lantern, so it's Barry Allen meets up with Hal Jordan. So it ticks all the fanboy boxes there. As a 7 out of 10. And then issue 2 of Batman and Robin, a comic I didn't think I'd buy. What I am pleased about is there is actually more story pages. There's 25 story pages in this, so I don't really mind paying $4.99 because we do get a few extra pages. The artwork is by the guy from is it that Boom comic? Something about alien giants, gods in space who die and they harvest them. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's written by Al Ewing. But yeah, this is Josh Williams Batman joint. I kind of like it. It's light-hearted, but not too light-hearted. And I do like the relationship between. He knows how to do the relationship of Damian and Bruce really well. I know some people struggle with the artwork, but I kind of like it. Maybe it's because I'm used to reading like more European-style comics on 2000 AD and that lot. So I'm used to like your not traditional superhero kind of art. You know, your more experimental style. So I thought it flowed fine. There's only one panel what I struggled with, but the rest of it was fine, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, and I'm coming back for more. So 8.5 out of 10 for that. Really fun comic. This, I know some people have been raving over it, but I'm not a huge fan of the Gotham War. I just think it's a bit unnecessary. I'm just not warm. I'm still not warm to Chip Zdarsky, but I must say, this is the best issue he's done so far in this storyline, and it's nice to see Jimenez back on the artwork. And again, DC does give you value for money, $4.99, and there's a lot of story pages. I think it's about 28 pages, or it could be more, and it's just one big story. But yeah, I'm invested in it. I'm carrying on, and I'm enjoying the Catwoman part of it as well. But like I said, it just feels like a pointless crossover. I just think it's a bit of a forced thing what Zdarsky's done with Batman at the moment. So I give it a 7 out of 10. And then we've got Conan the Barbarian. I love this variant cover I got. Oh, this could be the A cover. It's by Dougie Braithwaite. Yeah, it's the A cover. Dougie Braithwaite, who did a lot of 2000 AD work, and then he moved on to Valiant and Marvel, did The Punisher, etc. in the 90s. But yeah, great cover. Gorgeous artwork on the inside by De La Torre, and great solid writing by Jim Zub. This is how a Conan comic should be. Brilliant, fantastic, sword and sorcery, 9 out of 10. Gorgeous paper as well, really good quality paper stock, very good quality comic, and only $3.99. Enfield Gang Massacre. If you're not picking up this, you're missing out on one of the best, most original comics on the stands at the moment, by Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips. These are becoming as good a team as Jacob Phillips' dad Sean, with the work he does with Ed Brubaker. They're as good a team as that. These two, when they work together, they did a short story in the Harley Quinn anthology, What I Get, and it was amazing. And the work on this, it's set in the Texas Blood universe, but it's a western. It's set in the 1800s, late 1800s, and it's a great punchy tale of false accusations against some outlaws who decide initially they don't fight back because they're shocked, but in this issue they start to fight back. It is brilliant. I could hear like Sergio Leone music playing in my head as I was reading it. I didn't realise how much I've missed having a good Western comic. There's a gap in the market for it, and this fills it. This gets a very rare 10 out of 10. Everything about the package, from the paper quality, the colouring, the story, the backup features, the inlays and everything, it is just a perfect package, 10 out of 10. If you're not buying it, you need to get the trade paperback when it comes out. And then one of the most fun comics at present in any company, Blue Beetle, number 2. And there's a shock last issue, which I guess the cover kind of reveals it. Ted Cord got attacked. He got stabbed through his chest. And this leads on from that, from the repercussions. Not everybody is who they seem to be. There's a mystery character who you see there. Yeah, it's got quite a lot of emotion in this one. It's great. I'd love to see this team do a Firestorm comic. They know how to handle young superheroes. And I'm loving it. The artwork is gorgeous. If you've not read it, do get the new recent trade paperback. And this is on the second issue and the first 2 issues of this comic. You will not regret it. 9 out of 10. Just a fun superhero comic. And then, Daniel Warren Johnson, his long-awaited Transformers comic. I got the main cover because I love that. Very iconic. Don't ask me who he's called, because I still can't remember. I forget all the Transformers names. I am not a Transformers fan. I know nothing about Transformers apart from the Bumblebee movie. I honestly don't understand the appeal. I got this because of Daniel Warren Johnson being on it, but he made me like a franchise that I have no interest in. So I am in for the long run. Great artwork, bit of a wouldn't say mature spin, but I'd say it's suitable for people 13 and upwards. I wouldn't give it to somebody younger than that because there is some blood in it. But yeah, the artwork is to die for. It's what you expect from Daniel Warren Johnson, and he just writes good yarn. $4.99, but it's an extra sized issue, and I'm invested in that. 9 out of 10. And then second issue of Birds of Prey. What a fantastic! This is the best team book that DC or Marvel or any other company are doing. Kelly Thompson, she is an amazing writer. She needs to do more for DC. She was wasted on Marvel. She knows the characters. She knows the voices for all these characters. I'd love for her to do a new Gods comic, I tell you that. The artwork is superb by Romero and colouring by Judge Belair. Some people don't like the colouring, but I do. I think it's very, as you can tell from the cover, it's very retro. It's like very pop arty, very 60s style, so very bold block colours in some panels. And I guess some people might not be used to that because it's not coloured like a normal comic is coloured. But I think it really works and I really enjoy it. It adds to the pace. There's some amazing layouts. I think it's up there with Bruno Redondo for some of the action sequences, how they do the page layouts. And the story is just a great kind of like heist, but not a heist. 9 out of 10. Really, really enjoyable. Yeah, one of my DC's strongest comics. And then, I did get some more back issues. So, this was a comic I was going to get, but initially I heard from so many people that the initial colouring on it was awful and very muddy, and that's Blade. So I didn't get it. I thought I'll get it digitally. It might look more vivid when it comes out in 6 months. I can get it cheap. But then they changed the colourist and they said the colour was a lot better. So I thought, I'll see if I can get it reasonably priced. The back issues, and I found it. So I got the Peach Momoko cover for number 1. Bill Sienkiewicz for number 2. And then I don't know who did that one. Not such a great cover, but that's number 3. So I'm up to date with those. And yeah, I'd give those an 8 out of 10. Number 4 is carrying on the storyline. This is by Brian Hill. The artwork's gone down in. The artwork isn't great. The colouring's a lot better, but I don't think it feels very rushed. It's lost some of its stylishness what it had in the previous issues. So it's almost like they get the colouring sauce out, but then the art goes lazy. But the story itself is fun. It says on the cover, train heist. He's got to find this sword, the sword of Lucifer, to bring down the big bad. I don't want to reveal too much because I do recommend reading it. It's nice to have a good Blade comic back. It's nice to have a bit of horror in Marvel, one that's not bogged down by Marvel continuity. Unfortunately, I think in January there's going to be a big vampire crossover, so there will be this getting impacted, I think, by that. But at the moment, I'd give the series as a whole 7.5 out of 10. Because, like I said, it gets good, but then something lets it down, maybe the colouring or the art, etc. So it's very uneven. Then X-Men Days of Future Past, Doomsday #3. Love that cover. This is a great continuation of that universe of X-Men, kind of like a what if. Very, very dark, much darker than the original Days of Future Past. But it's good. Very good solid writing by Guggenheim. Nice artwork by Garcia. This is issue 3. I think it's only 4 issues, so I think next issue ties it all up. So yeah, I'll carry on with it. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. This one I'm up and down with because I don't know how it's going to be impacted that much by the big crossover event which is coming out soon for the Titus. This is Titus #3. It's good. I like Brother Blood. I love the Titans lineup of villains, and it's a nice conspiracy. It's a nice conspiracy. And a really nice twist at the end. Great last page. Artwork by Nicholas Scott is really good. The only thing I've got with Nicholas Scott though, all her men look like Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister. They've all got the same eyebrows, and the women have as well. And I just think for such a nice artist, it'd be nice if she could do all the faces different. It pulls me out of it too much because they all look like they've got the same face. Even the women look like they've got the same face to the men. But apart from that, the art is nice. I'd say it's a 7.5 out of 10 load of story. There is that Beast World, whatever it is, coming out soon. But I'm just going to get the comics. I'm not going to bother with the Beast World. I'll get that when it gets collected. It's just too expensive to get it because it's going to be about 6 issues and I think it's weekly. They're not cheap. They're going to be $4.99 and $5.99, and there's all miniseries tied in with it. And I don't know. I think it's going on, but there'll be another story going on with this as well. So if this doesn't get impacted by it, I'll carry over this. If it does, I'll stop the comic and just get it collected. So 7 out of 10. Green Arrow #4. Yeah. I just want Green Arrow to be Green Arrow. I'm tired of multiverses. I'm tired of time jumping. It's being done to death by all the companies at the moment. I just want it to get back to being a street level vigilante with a conscience, fighting social injustice. Yeah, come on. Hopefully that'll happen soon. But it's okay. But it's not green. It doesn't. For me, it's not a Green Lantern comic. Green Arrow comic. It feels more like a Green Lantern comic. I like my Green Arrow to be much more like Mike Grell did it, or Jeff Lemire, that style. So I am going to carry over it because I want it to be a Green Arrow comic, but give it a 7 out of 10 because it's not what I look for in a Green Arrow comic. And then we have the new iteration of The Flash by Cy Spurrier and Mike Deodato Jr. Exercise first issue. Love that cover. Love the new logo. For a big comic though, I think they're spending too much time building up a big story when I think they could have trimmed it a bit. It's a bit flabby. But I think it'll pick up pace in the next issue. I think it will be worth it. So I'd give this a 7 out of 10 because I don't think it's showing its full potential in this issue. But yeah, it's okay. And then, great, fantastic comic, issue 6, unfortunately, of a 7-issue series of the Doom Patrol by Dennis Culver and Chris Burnham. That cover is fantastic. Chaotic, mad, crazy, everything that a Doom Patrol comic should be. Colourful, vibrant, psychedelic, wacky, and just fun. The X-Men will never be as cool as the Doom Patrol. That's all I'm saying. 9 out of 10. And I'll be sad when this finishes. And then another favourite, and this is issue 2 of The Penguin. I wasn't going to buy this comic originally when it was first announced, even though I like Tom King, because I don't like the Penguin, but he's made me like this Penguin. This is a great version of the Penguin. It's like The Sopranos, and I love that he's brought the Help back. I think that's one of the best new characters of recent years. Nice art, great story, very good comic, crime comic. More enjoyable than Zdarsky's run on Batman, to be honest. This is it's just good. 9 out of 10. And then another favourite Batman comic, Detective Comics, issue 1074, always with the great covers. Ram V on the writing and Dustin Nguyen on the artwork, so that's a complete different style of artist, and a great backup by Dan Watters and Hayden Sherman. Gorgeous backup. This comic has the best backup strips in any of DC's thicker comics, and that one's got the 100-eyed man in it. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, just a perfect comic. Great. This is my kind of Batman. Moody, slightly supernatural, emphasis on the detective side. 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, never disappoints. And then one I wasn't going to pick up because the premise annoys me, but I love Nightcrawler. So I got Uncanny Spider-Man, Cy Spurrier again, and Lee Garbett. Solid writing, great artwork, but it does annoy me that they've truncated it into being a Spider-Man linked kind of Marvel X-Men comic. I'd enjoy it much more if it was just Nightcrawler, maybe be more swashbuckling or something. But I love the character, and I do think Cy Spurrier understands Nightcrawler, but this just feels a silly premise. But I just read it as a Nightcrawler comic, and then I can enjoy it. But yeah, such a stupid cash in to try and bridge it with X-Men and Spider-Man. But I'll give it a 7 out of 10, and I think I will carry on with it. One I did try because I'm enjoying her writing on Red Sonja. That's Torun Grombeck, and she's doing Venom, and it's Black Widow is now in the Venom universe. I did not have a clue really what was going on. The characters didn't connect with me. The artwork was okay, very wordy, not in the speech bubbles, but there's a lot of text blocks all along the panels. Very explanatory. It was a slog to go through. It's 20 story pages, and it felt like I was reading a 40-page comic. I was exhausted by the end of it, and I wanted to read it. I thought this was going to be fantastic. This is going to bring me into loving Venom, and it didn't. 4 out of 10. Then Void Rivals, number 4. Yeah, it's good. Great art, gorgeous artwork. Good sci-fi epic. Links to the Transformers universe and G.I. Joe universe. But I don't know. With this one, it's always one that I end up buying a few weeks later because I always think I'm going to stop it. And I'm still of that opinion now. It's not really connecting to me that much. Maybe because I'm not that invested in the Energy universe, not that invested in Transformers and G.I. Joe and Hasbro. So I'd say the comic's a 7 out of 10. It's a solid read, but I don't know if it's necessary for me. Whereas the Transformers getting it because I love the creator who's on it. So this is next month. It might not be on my list. And then I got one that I sold, one that I said I'd be getting either digitally or in trade paperback, and that is The Incredible Hulk. So I got 3 and 4. I did have issues 1 and 2, but I sold them when they were extremely scarce when they first came out, and I got £30 for them when I just paid £3.30 each. So I made a big profit, £24. So I thought if I can find the first 2 issues again, maybe second prints, whatever, I'll get this in physical, and I'll explain why in a second. So I found the first 2 issues for very cheap, so they're coming soon this week. Second prints, but I'm not bothered. I don't buy comics to invest in, even though I do flip them occasionally. Hold on, just need a drink. And the reason I've gone back to getting the comic format, they're not going to be collected until I think it's next year, and it's only going to be 5 issues, and even digitally it's going to be expensive, or even this is what really pisses me off with Marvel. This is why I just buy the Panini collections. The Marvel collection, the first 5 issues, is going to be, I think it's something like $25, $29.99 for 5 issues. If that was a DC book, it'd be $16.99. Marvel are fleecing the people, and the quality of the products, even the trade paperbacks, are really bad. So I might as well just carry on with the comics. It'll end up being cheaper in the long run. Next issue is going to be a $4.99 one, but then it reverts back to $3.99. And they are a bit flimsy, so that does piss me off a bit because I don't think it does justice to the artwork. But anyway, that's why I'm getting physical again. Because I was going to get digitally, but I don't want to wait. Love that cover. Nick Klein knocking it out of the park in issue 3. Great story, great setup. Very gothic horror, very southern noir kind of horror. You can feel the swamp in it. You can imagine like Lead Belly playing in the background as you're reading it. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10. This one, I'd give it a 7.7 out of 10. Travel Former's good artist, but I feel like he's rushed this one. There's not much background in it. Very lacking in shading. And when you contrast it to the Nick Klein artwork, it's a big jump in change in style. So it detracts from the story a bit. So yeah, it felt a bit lacking this issue. Story was okay, but it just didn't feel as enjoyable as the other one. He's got artist trophy on. He did Animal Man and I think other strips, but I just think it was a bad choice for this. I think it's because he's so different in style. If it had been somebody like Carl Hart's, that would have worked perfectly, because it'd have that same kind of dirty, swampy kind of feel, but it didn't with this one. It just felt too clean. Too kind of like very indie as well. So I give this a 7.5 out of 10. But yeah, I'm glad I'm carrying on with it. Philip Kennedy Johnson at the moment is slaying it with what he's doing. So that's it so far. I might do like a graphic novel roundup soon, and like I said, I might do a new video where I'll be looking at what I'll be reading digitally, because certainly some of you might be interested in looking into, is it worth buying comics digitally? I would say if you want a budget, yeah, it's always fun to like have some digitally and some just physical. But that's it. Okay, so bye. See you soon. Bye.